Welcome to Anime Out of Context, a comedy review show where a man completely immersed in anime culture torments his co-host, who is only allowed to watch the shows featured here. If you'd like to support the show, you can do so at patreon.com/animeoutofcontext. Alongside over 100 hours of exclusive bonus material, all episodes uploaded to Patreon are completely ad-free, even to non-patrons. Thank you for listening, and enjoy.
Hello and welcome to Anime Out of Context, a show where I attempt to explain the sometimes weird, sometimes wonderful, but always hilarious world of anime.
And Shaun Rollins is my scrandma.
I'm Shaun Rollins?
I'm Remington Chase.
Strange. Very strange.
You're my scrandmother.
What does that mean, sir? What does that...
Well, I think it's best left unsaid.
Mostly because you don't have an answer.
All I can say is, he really mushes my pee.
Oh god, this is going to be someone's first episode. Welcome, everybody. Remington, I have to tell you something.
All right.
It's about a studio.
Okay, all right.
We've talked about them briefly.
I know 3 studios.
I know you do. We've talked about them in the past. We've covered a couple shows from them.
Sure.
Do you remember anything about Studio Gainax, Rem?
That is not one of the 3.
I knew it wouldn't be. We've covered exactly 3 shows from them.
Look, I know Shaft, which is not Madhouse, which is not Shaft, and I know Ghibli.
Yep, there it is. Oh boy. Okay. Well, let me give you a little bit of a summary then. Studio Gainax, Rem. It is a studio that is most famous for the following anime, being Gurren Lagann and Neon Genesis Evangelion.
Okay. They like...
They're big robots.
They like their mechs.
Yes.
Yeah.
And weirdly, one of the other shows that we've covered from them was Oruchuban Ebichu, which was the horny hamster anime.
But of course, that totally fits with the other 2, totally in line.
Yeah, no, definitely not a weird little twist on the thing. But no, they are a studio that got started in 1984 and got super successful with things like Gurren Lagann and Evangelion, and a couple other little shows here and there.
I noticed that the horny hamster, you didn't list that as like a claim to fame.
No. I mean, it's a claim to weirdness.
A claim to shame, a little bit more so, you know?
You know, it's not everybody's first thought when they think of Studio Gainax. Their first thought is usually like people dramatically standing on top of giant robots, you know?
They did what we all have done with our horny hamsters. You lock it up in the basement, don't talk about it, and pretend it never existed.
But the reason I'm telling you about Studio Gainax today, aside from the fact that we're obviously covering an anime from them, is the fact that, they're dead.
Well, shit.
Yeah, because, middle of last year, they declared bankruptcy, and, middle of 2024, I forget, it is no longer 2025, dear God. In middle of 2024, they declared bankruptcy, and they were completely dissolved in December of 2025. So, in honor of their legacy, I figured it was about time we covered another one of their very popular shows, and also, to make things even more good for you, Rem, the episodes are full length, but there are only 6 total.
Okay, hell yeah.
Yep, it is an OVA, and it is exactly 6 episodes long, and it did eventually get like some sequel series later on as the rights moved from Gainax to, oh god, I believe it was Production IG was the other studio involved with this particular show. I think full rights went over to them, along with like the rights for Evangelion and whatnot. We don't need to worry about that so much, but there are some sequel series to it later down the line, but they were sequel series that came up like nearly 20 years later.
Sure.
But no. So today, Remington, the anime we're going to be talking about is one that, weirdly, there may have been a chance you've seen.
Oh, that okay. All right. So it needs to be something that existed. Let's see. It's going to be in that 90s to 2000s range.
Yep.
Probably 2000s.
Mm-hmm.
And also fairly popular. Would have been one that sometimes streamed, I don't know, on like fucking Toonami.
Ooh, so close, yes. This was a show that was regularly streamed on, I believe, Toonami and or Adult Swim.
Okay, interesting.
Yes. I don't know if you've seen it, because it was probably one of the weirdest anime at the time. Tell me, Rem, does the name Fooly Cooly ring any bells?
Only because the patrons stated that I was neither Fooly nor Cooly.
Yes. Well, that's what we're watching today. Fooly Cooly, spelled FLCL.
Okay.
Yep, that is how it is written out. It's using katakana furi kuri, so Fooly Cooly.
Okay.
Would you like a translation?
Sure.
You're good. You don't need it. It doesn't really mean anything.
Cool. All right, gotta love
it's
some basic gibberish.
Yep, it's just Fooly Cooly, and people know it as Fooly Cooly. Yeah, there's a sequel called Fooly Cooly Progressive, and then another sequel after that called Fooly Cooly Alternative. But those came out quite literally like 18 years later, because this 6-episode OVA originally aired in the year 2000. So this is a turn of the century anime.
Sure.
And, it was one of those shows that I distinctly remember regularly popping up around in Toonami and Adult Swim, and I would watch it and I'd be like, what the fuck is going on?
Oh, lovely. All right, perfect.
Because, Rem, this is some classic, old school, weird anime, avant-garde, absurdist humor. And it got
I don't know
how to feel about that.
I don't know how to prepare myself emotionally for that.
Hey, dog, you're not going to be able to. It is weird. It is strange. It's just so odd. It is just a weird little 6-episode show from the early 2000s, and people have asked us to cover it for ages because they're mostly curious to see how you feel about it. Because it's framed as a comedy show, but I'm willing to guarantee that 90% of our audience have only consumed it as a dub, and it is so chock full of weird Japanese humor that the dub is also like a weird, like, odd experience that doesn't make a whole lot of sense. And I'll let you decide which you want to watch, because...
Oh, okay. All right, cool.
It'll be up to you. Most people probably have seen the dub because I'm going to be honest with you, but it's a little hard to find the original Fooly Cooly because it's not actively streaming anywhere. But, there are lots of loose DVDs lying around and such, so you have options.
Oh, cool. I'll just find a loose DVD, it'll be great.
Yep. Don't worry. Because, God, how to describe this show to you, Rem? And I'm realizing now that I did sandwich two hard to describe shows next to each other, though in fairness, the first one was not my fault. You have the wheel to blame for that. But yeah, so I've sandwiched some whipped cream in between two weird shows from the 2000s. So, here we are.
Hey, as long as this one doesn't feature a snail and then...
Yeah, hey, no snails. Can guarantee that.
Good. Cool.
Lots of weird things.
All right, so what the fuck is it about?
What is it about? Yeah, all right. Okay, you know what? This is one of those times where I think I'm just going to blatantly read the mal description because I think it's going to do the best it can. Because once you start watching it, you'll see why it's hard for me to describe from my own words. But it's essentially primarily about our main character, Naota Nandaba. He's a 6th grader who loves baseball, and he's struggling a little bit because his older brother more or less just, got a chance to play baseball in America, and he's trying to kind of fill the space that his brother left by being, bigger than he actually is, if that makes sense.
Okay, sure.
Yep. Some angsty young folk stuff. Then he gets hit by a girl on a Vespa with a bass guitar.
Oh.
And I will say, in the mal description, they do describe her as a pink-haired psychopath, which...
Oh, perfect.
Which is great.
All right. I mean, we've all been there.
Yep.
We've all been hit by a pink-haired psychopath with a bass guitar riding a Vespa.
Yep, and because of that hit to the head, he starts growing a horn, and then he is dragged into a sci-fi battle.
Starts growing a horn?
Yeah, a sci-fi battle conflict for the fate of the world, the universe, and everything around it.
Wait, what the fuck? Because he was hit in the head?
With a bass guitar? Yeah.
Forgive me, I suppose I'm just not seeing the relationship between these.
Well,
I'm struggling to see the connection between cause and effect here.
Well, Rem, you know how sometimes when you bump your head, like it swells up a little bit and you get like a little bump on your head?
Yep.
It's like that.
I
Just
don't know
more.
if it is. Is this all just a hallucination and the boy has just very serious head trauma?
Hey, Rem, that would be probably the easiest explanation for the show. No idea if that's true or not, though.
Oh, God.
Rem, this is I would describe this show as a weird fucking trip. And I'm going to tell you this right now. Good fucking luck reviewing it. It's going to be rough. But hey, we gotta do it because, you know, you gotta hold, you know, a funeral, like a remembrance ceremony for a past great studio, you know?
Sure. What better way than Fooly Cooly?
I mean, genuinely, Rem, it was either gonna be Fooly Cooly or, and I feel like the name alone will probably push you away, it was either gonna be Fooly Cooly or Panty and Stocking with Garter Belt.
Jesus Christ.
So I feel like of the two options, I went with the one that you would most likely have positive things to say about.
Yeah, I suppose so.
Unless you want, we can switch to Panty and Stocking with Garter Belt.
Nah, I'm good with Fooly Cooly, baby.
Are you sure? It's modeled after Western cartoons.
Nah, I'm good.
Okay, well, hey, you know, I mean, don't say I didn't try, bud. We'll cover Panty and Stocking another day. Don't worry, it'll be fun. But for right now, I think let's just go into it. Let's go watch all 6 episodes of Fooly Cooly. And we are back after watching the entirety of the hit 2000 anime Fooly Cooly. And Remington, I was correct in pointing out that it was weird, right?
yeah. Just a little bit, just a wee bit.
Yeah, it's almost like one of the weirdest things we've covered on the podcast ever.
Yeah.
Like, it kinda hits a couple different thresholds there.
Here's all right.
But it's a lot.
I'm gonna compare it to a few things right off the bat, right?
Okay. Classic.
With some recency bias, there's a smidgen of Bakemonogatari in there. There's a little bit of David Lynch in here for sure.
100%.
There's a little bit of, I can never remember the name, even though I really liked the show. It had the 3 girls who were just little weirdos, had a fun art style. I think they were trying to be artists or something, or like manga artists or something like that.
They were trying to do an anime, yeah.
Yeah.
Keep your hands off Aizoken.
Yeah, it's got a little bit of that going on. And then, and this is going to be a wild one, shout out to 2 years back, 12 days, a little bit of like Rick and Morty the anime. All right, so
oh God, okay, fascinating.
So there's a lot going on here. And I'm gonna level with you. All right, this is a hell of a show to talk about after seeing just one time.
Yes.
This is definitely a show that warrants and some would say even requires a rewatch.
Correct, yes. Let me put it this way, Rem. It looped all the time on Cartoon Network back in the day, and I watched it maybe a dozen times. And only when I became an adult, I actually gave it a rewatch, and I was like, oh, this makes more sense now, but also at the same time, what the actual fuck?
I feel like watching this as a kid, despite its themes, would be hell. It'd be crazy.
Oh yeah, no, I watched it a lot. I didn't understand a goddamn thing when I was that young, but I did watch it a lot because I think it was a Toonami show.
Yeah, it makes sense.
So yeah, I just couldn't not watch it because it was on so frequently.
Let's delve into this fucking fever dream, shall we? Episode 1, we open up. There's a girl who we learn is Mimi, and she's like practicing swinging a bat and everything, right? While a guy who we will learn is Naota, usually referred to as Takun. He is he's just doing some writing. She is evidently crushing on him, right? We learn about the medical mechanica, which is sort of medical robot facility that looks like a giant iron and covers the city in white smoke. Yep. There's a lot going on. There's a lot going on.
Yeah, it's avant-garde sci-fi, my guy. It's a little hard to
figuring out like this is one of those where it's like, okay, let's figure out the clearest way to communicate this, because a play-by-play is nonsensical. So I need to pluck things out of my notes that create a more streamlined, communicable vision of things.
Yeah, like when I did the part 1 of this, I was like, how am I gonna?
Yeah, you were like, how the fuck am I gonna describe it? And then you just need to give a general idea, and then it's like, all right, good luck, Remington. You have to actually describe the show, the show as a whole.
Oh yeah, no, like this is one of those situations where your job is much harder.
Describing the premise, don't get me wrong, it is a tough task. Describing the show is Herculean.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no, like whereas where it was very difficult for me to describe how Bakemonogatari went, this is about the same difficulty as describing that, but much easier for me to take a relaxing sit back after you have to take over the reins, because Bakemonogatari, man, straightforward in some of the aspects of it that are easier to talk about. It's gonna be hard as fuck to describe. Good fucking luck, bud.
Yep. So, as Mamimi and Takun are sort of hanging out, right? A girl on a Vespa runs in to Takun and nearly kills him and gives him CPR. And he's okay. And Mamimi's like a little bit like lightly jealous and just weirded out and what the fuck's going on. But Takun is okay. So this mysterious Vespa riding girl grabs her guitar and smacks him upside the head after saving him.
Yeah.
And then rides away. And so
as you do.
That's our introduction to who we will learn is Haruko.
Yes, the aforementioned pink-haired psychopath.
Yeah, she is a goddamn freak.
Yes.
She is truly insane. And so where she hit Takun, he's now growing a horn. Huh.
Yep.
He puts a bandage over it to keep it in place. And he's just kind of embarrassed by it and everything. Haruko shows up more and is like, hey, what you hiding under that bandage? What's going on there? And he runs away, right? Tries to get it looked at, but she shows up at the hospital. He escapes and gets the fuck out. He's like, this is a goddamn mess. He gets home, takes a nap, goes to dinner, and unfortunately, his dad has hired Haruko as a housemaid. And it's like, oh no, fuck. And then there's a scene that is one of the more memorable scenes of the show. It has a completely different art style, but I'm not going to touch on it because it's one of the most frenetic, fast-paced scenes we've ever covered. Yeah. There's just
it's also very meta.
Yes, there's a lot going on there, but fortunately, it advances the characters more than the themes, so I'm just gonna like put it to the side. I'm just
That's
gonna
not
put
to think
it to
about
the
it
side.
too much.
There's so much to talk about. Sometimes we just gotta skip things, even when they're some of the most memorable scenes of the show. All right, it's what needs to be done. As it turns out, she will be sleeping in Takun's room, and he has a bunk bed that he used to share with his brother, but his brother has since grown up, moved to America to play baseball, and it's clear that this has impacted Takun quite a bit. It's also impacted Mamimi quite a bit, who had, I don't know, it seems like there's an age differential. I don't know if there was like a proper relationship between the brother and Mamimi, or if it was just more of like an idolized kind of position, but something along those lines, right? A great adoration that Mamimi feels for Takun's brother, that now is sort of being largely displaced from the brother to Takun himself.
Correct.
Mamimi is probably going to get largely overshadowed in this because
yes,
her role is look, to put it a bit crass, Mamimi gets cucked for most of the show. And most of the show, what it does for Mamimi is occasionally just showing her in the corner watching everything happening. And that's understating it because it's more important and more meaningful, but I simply don't think we're going to be able to get into the weeds with it too much with this podcast. There's gonna be lots of like characters and themes that are meaningful and interesting and compelling that we're just going to like touch on and then ignore. I'm aware that they're there. I'm aware. I know. However, there's already too much. There's already too much to talk about. So
there's a lot packed into 6 episodes.
Yes. Yes. Okay. So that's all the dynamic with the brother and everything. So there's a bunk bed. Haruko, who's much older than Takun. She's 18, 19, 20, somewhere in that range. Whereas Takun is like...
Yeah, she claims to be 19 is like the general vibe.
Okay. But she's also like kind of an alien entity.
Yes.
So who the fuck knows?
Yeah, look, man, it's hard to say at this point. It's weird.
Look, spoilers, it's going to end with her shooting off into space to chase her cosmic boyfriend. So
yeah.
so that's what we're sort of that's where we're headed.
Mm-hmm.
But she teases Takun quite a bit. And she's teasing him generally sexually, and then about his horn that she caused and she knows about. Takun runs away. He goes to sort of hang out with Mamimi when after once again series of events. Oh shit, the horn pops out big time, and then bursting from that horn is a big old robot. A big old robot breaks out of that, along with there's a separate robot hand that then the one robot fights the hand while holding on to Takun and wins. But then Haruko arrives and gives the robot a big old smack, gives like the sort of TV robot, the main robot, a big old smack. It turns from red to blue. It's good now. It's helpful. Mamimi is also okay. Cool. And there we go. That's episode 1. I needed to double check that this was episode 1 because it does throw you into the deep end, and it does kind of feel like you're popping into the middle. It feels like they covered shit and you weren't there, right? Like you showed up on the second day of class or even like the second week of class, and they're just jumping into it, and you're like, oh wait. What are we even talking about? What are we? And maybe you can catch up and everything, but it takes a second to just be like, oh fuck, okay.
Yeah, it definitely doesn't exactly follow the classic hero's journey structure, considering the inciting incident happens, within like the first 3 minutes. Yes.
Artistically, I think it's really interesting. Very often it'll have these sort of like liminal, almost unfinished backgrounds that are really interesting. Even just generally speaking, when it has more detail, it rarely, if ever, has a ton of detail, but it totally works. And also the soundtrack, holy shit. Already episode 1, soundtrack is a vibe, brother. Like, holy shit.
Yeah, no, like when I said that this was an iconic show from when we were younger, I wasn't kidding, my guy. It has permeated like Western audiences' minds for ages, primarily because of like Toonami and such, but also because it's a Studio Gainax production. And Gainax, if there's one thing you can say about Gainax, they were behind some of the most iconic properties in anime from the 90s and early 2000s.
Oh boy. So basically, most episodes, possibly all the episodes, they will have some kind of arc of Takun having a different... I'm going to call them manifestations of Fooly Cooly, all right? And if you ask me to clarify further, I'm not gonna.
Hey, dog. I'm not going to put that past you.
I feel
know
like,
how hard it is to describe this show.
Yeah, I feel like it's an accurate description. Some of you guys who like haven't watched the show, and some of you who have, frankly, are going to be like, all right, wait, all right, so Fooly Cooly, it's the title of the show. What the fuck is it? in the show. They ask that a lot in the show. It's a lot of things.
Yes.
Don't worry about it. But these are manifestations of Fooly Cooly. All right.
Yeah. Hey, dog. I may or may not have made that joke in the first half as well.
Perfect.
I don't know if you remember from when we recorded, but I did ask you if you wanted to know what Fooly Cooly was.
Yep.
And don't worry about it.
Yep.
It's fine.
And that is the proper answer. And like we will touch on it a little bit later. We'll touch on it a little bit later, but also it's not just one thing.
No.
But manifestation of Fooly Cooly, often a robot emerging from his skull, but sometimes other stuff. And then the evil robot needs to be stopped. The first robot, the good robot, it's mostly just helping out all the time. It becomes just a kind of a side character who's just vibing. And if I'm gonna level with you, it's the only non-wildly dysfunctional character in the show. The robot is the only character in the whole damn show who has his shit figured out.
I mean, which is wild considering he popped out of a horn on a young lad's head at one point. Like that. Yeah. Wildly impressive.
Yeah, I mean, considering those origins, like most of us would be pretty fucked up if that happened to us, if that was our origin story. The robot, who has a name I can't remember. The robot.
The robot's name is Conti.
Conti. He's okay, all right. He's just happy to be of service, to be of assistance. Everybody else, they're a goddamn mess.
Yes, as humans tend to be.
Yes. So episode 2, Takun has once again another horn going on. There's some fun stuff about arson here.
Yeah.
With that, we can't cover the arson. We can't. We simply cannot.
We do not have the time.
We don't have the time. It's tangential. You'll have to believe me. It's more tangential. It's valuable, but tangential. It's on the outskirts because it's heavily a Mamimi thing, and we've already made the decision that Mamimi
to not think about Mamimi.
Yeah, despite being important and relevant and interesting, we simply can't. So
we've got cats to talk about.
Yes, and you know, in this episode, Mamimi, it opens up with Mamimi saying, "I saw God the other day," which is a crazy opening line. Like it's and she talks about how the god saved a little kitten, and now she's taking care of the kitten, who she names Takun, which is of course the family name. So every time she talks about Takun, it's one, her crush on Nauta, but second of all, it's also like her crush / adoration / admiration / missing Nauta's brother. If I talk about Takun, I'm probably talking about Nauta, the main character. I will emphasize every time I'm talking about specifically the brother, but because they basically always call Nauta Takun. Even Takun, he's gonna have a moment later where he's like, "Don't call me Takun, call me Nauta," and that'll have ramifications. But then he will still just be called Takun for the most part.
Yep.
Which is actually relevant and interesting, but. See, it's every detail, every fucking detail. This is a well-crafted show. It's a meticulously crafted show. Every detail, there's no detail that's extraneous, right? There's nothing that sort of just exists on an island. Everything you're like, yeah, and it's relevant to all of these other things. And so I need to avoid going on those digressions, but I know that the Fooly Cooly tryhards out there, they'll be listening and they'll be like, wow, he didn't even mention, which first of all, only watched it through once, all right? You've watched it through dozens of times. I simply can't match that. But second of all, I caught more than I'll talk about. I simply need some system of organization.
You need a coherent way to process everything that you've seen.
Yes. So a big old robot once again shows up, and Haruka and Takun end up fighting it. Takun gets eaten by the TV robot, Conti, and it becomes a sort of super robot that then turns into a gun and shoots, and then it shits Takun back out. And Takun is like, he makes some comment along the lines of, he vowed to always stay with Mamimi. Now this is valuable, because basically after this, he abandons the fuck out of Mamimi.
It's almost like the oaths of a 12-year-old aren't something that you can always take seriously.
In a lesser show, it'd be something I complain about, being like, oh, so was that just fucking meaningless? In this show, it is extremely deliberate, and it's like, yeah, kind of. It's like, yeah, the 12-year-old thought it was more meaningful, and that is important and relevant. Episode 3, we meet one of Takun's classmates, Nina Mori. She's the class president. She is the lead in the play that's coming up because they elected who was which part. She's the lead. Takun is going to play the cat. She's sort of distant from her parents, wanting to get their approval and everything. But like her dad's the mayor and there's scandals and bullshit going on. Takun has cat ears here, and there's quite a bit going on. Eventually, Nina actually gets a manifestation of Fooly Cooly, a giant spider robot, out of her skull that then controls her and hangs on, and it's nice and fucked, but then the day is saved. Nina Mori, also quite an interesting character, some interesting stuff going on. We're simply and I know what's happening a lot, and I know a lot of people are being like, wow, you are gonna ignore so many characters. Like, I'm also not gonna dig too deeply into eyebrows later, but
because you don't remember his name and that's how everybody calls him.
I did just label him eyebrows. I have no idea what his name is.
Amarao, excuse me.
I won't remember that even through this discussion. I'm gonna keep calling him eyebrows.
I mean, that is like, look, it's a very distinct
there's
feature.
a guy, he's like he's a head of a fucking galactic federation or some shit.
Yeah, galactic immigration, I think is what it was.
I'm gonna love with you, all right? When they start talking about like the details of the lore, I will not be able to talk about a damn thing, because weirdly, the lore is the least relevant thing. It's the least important thing. If you get the gist of the lore, that's important. But the details of the lore, not very important.
Yeah. And I mean, I haven't watched like the sequel series myself, so I have no idea if it'll continue to be that way, but maybe once I get around to researching those, I'll be able to let you know if your assumption is correct or not.
Yeah. So episode 4, extremely important here. Because here, there's a baseball game where Haruko is on one team and kicking absolute ass. She's crazy. She's doing incredible. She's defeating everybody single-handedly. Meanwhile, Takun is on the other team. They're getting absolutely wrecked. They're like, all right, maybe we need a little bit of a secret weapon. So they get the robot on their team, and they're like, that's the secret weapon. Meanwhile, it occurs to me that I'm like, oh man, if we're focusing on the core, then I do just need to talk about. All right. Takun gets home after practice, right? After the game, rather, and walks in to his dad and Haruko enjoying an erotic massage together. And it will not be the first time this happens. And Takun is displeased. Is like, it's kind of bullshit, because Haruko has been flirting pretty heavily with Takun, even though it's been in a very teasing way, right? But Takun, he's fucking 12, so obviously it should also be noted that like every time he grows a horn, being horny, it's very phallic. It happens in a moment of sexual or romantic tension. So he walks in on that. He's displeased. Generally, makes him feel uncomfortable and bad. Later, Haruko will talk to him and will offer to teach him how to swing his bat. And if you're wondering, are they talking about baseball? Sure.
It's probably easier if you think of it that way.
Sure, why not? Is going to be my answer to that. Just some good old all-American baseball. So,
yep.
He's like, no, I'm not interested in learning. She's like, you got decent stance. You need to learn how to swing. You need to actually swing. And there's a flickering star in the sky, and this is where we learn all about this galactic government. Shit's going down, and there's a lot going on. There's just a lot going on. I'm hopeless to describe in detail everything that's going on. One, there are limitations to my understanding because there's, jeez fucking Christ, man. It's not like this has been heavily foreshadowed. She made a joke that she was an alien earlier, but this, it's a step up from where we were. And shit's gonna go down, basically. Also, Takun once again hears and even sees Haruko and his dad. And yeah.
We're not going to explain. We're not going to. It's a lot. It's a lot of sensory overload.
Look, it's a hell of a thing for Haruko to be seducing a child and his dad. And let's be clear, all right? Let's be super duper clear, especially because some people might call me out for hypocrisy. Haruko is doing some pedo bullshit with Takun, all right? She's an adult. He is very much a child. Absolutely not okay. So what's the difference between this and Bakemonogatari? You wouldn't shut up about Remington? Well, I'm glad you asked, Shaun. And
I was gonna just ask like normally, but sure, that works that way too. Why not?
The difference is this show is very aware that there is a predatory and unsavory dynamic going on here. And it never glorifies it, though it does at times present it in almost like a wistful way, where a weird comparison. Shaun, you've almost certainly seen Whiplash, right? Good old drumming movie.
Oh yeah. The one where J.K. Simmons essentially kills a guy.
Yeah.
with overwork and drumming.
Yes,
I'm aware.
And of course, it's easy to watch that movie and feel spoilers for Whiplash, I suppose. Though it's a worthwhile movie, even with the spoilers, you should check it out. Towards the end, kid gets really good at drumming, shows up, kicks ass, hell yeah. And it's reasonable for the audience, the initial instinct to be, hell yeah, that's great. But I, and many others, share the interpretation that if you do any amount of thinking on it, it's not really a hell yeah moment. It's sort of an, oh, Jesus Christ moment. It has the appearances of victory, it has the appearances of success, but that's kind of even the problem. And that's the beauty of the art, in fact, right? It seduces you with the vibes of success, even though, from my perception, it's actually a kind of tragedy, right? Similarly, we have that here, where occasionally you might find that monkey brain almost rooting for this romance or whatever it is to almost succeed or something of that sort. But it's very obvious. No, that is not the desired result here. That is not healthy or good. And the show knows that it is not desirable, healthy, or good.
Yep. Oh, and just to clarify, just to add more to that exact theme, Mamimi is 17 and was in fact Naota's older brother's girlfriend.
Perfect. So, yeah, we got a lot of just those kinds of elements here, right?
Yep.
So yeah, just lots of weird shit. But this show is way more aware of all of that. And it's aware that it's problematic without ever outright saying, like, it doesn't want you to ever write off a character. It wants you to recognize the humanity in the characters, but also very often be like, Jesus Christ, what the fuck?
Yeah.
So the next day, the baseball game is getting started. Takun kills and revives his dad. He kills his fake sex dad and revives his real dad, and I'm not going to elaborate.
What's a casual beheading amongst friends?
I understand that for those who have not watched, they're going to want me to clarify. I simply cannot.
It is not possible.
He decapitates sex dad, rehydrates mummified real dad. And so we learn a little bit more about Haruko and how she's able to open dimensions through certain people's skulls to pull these robotic monstrosities out to eventually the goal, as we will learn, is to summon or reach what was its name? It's the Pirate King Adamisk?
I believe so, yeah.
Cool.
Pronunciation isn't quite there, but close
Yeah.
enough.
So just quite a bit going on. He learns most of this through Eyebrows, who's a guy with eyebrows, with also quite a bit going on, but don't worry about it. So we learn all of that kind of shit, right? But oh shit, an orbital baseball is gonna crush into the earth and fuck everything up.
Yep. As it does.
Sent from the heavens, it will destroy everything. Haruko and Takun go to the big ol' iron, and she pulls out a guitar from his skull, gives it to him. He's gotta swing now, and he does. He swings at the baseball, he's able to stop it, but of course it takes Haruko's help to send it back where it came from. Haruko finally taught him how to swing. And this is interesting because in a different show, this could be, forgive my wording, the climax. This could be the final moments of the show if its emphasis was a bit different, right? If it wanted to show how much Takun was learning from Haruko, if it wanted to emphasize primarily the sexual elements of all of this, because the major theme, the super theme is coming of age, but then there's lots of sub themes and different ways that it explores that. And one of the main ways is through like puberty, sexuality, sex itself. And if the sex, which is extremely prominent, was the main thrust of everything, this would be the big final moment. He learned to swing, and Haruko taught him, and you can just be like, wow, what now he's a man. But of course this show doesn't take that super simplistic approach. That's not what it means to ultimately be a man or be an adult or to grow up or any of that shit, right? It is simply one thing of many that can happen along the way. Episode 5, we get a lot of violence and guns as she straddles Haruko straddles Takun and kisses him, and the dad sees it and gets jealous, and they end up dueling, the dad and Takun for Haruko. Freud, eat your fucking heart out for whatever the fuck's going on here. Meanwhile, Mamimi is in the cuck chair for the duel.
As she is usually.
Yes. Once again, she shows up in every episode. She's sidelined very deliberately, and she's doing stuff that's interesting and relevant, but don't worry about it. So through all of this, we see that Takun and his friends show up and are like, oh man, we heard about how ya swung at that giant baseball. High five, right? And Takun loves the accolades. He loves hearing it. Haruko is even there to like teasingly boost him up further. And so, now, I mean, to put it simply, Takun becomes egotistical and sex-brained. All right?
Mm-hmm.
And so, when he hangs out with Mamimi later, she's kind of jealous and insecure, asking about Haruko, and he's like, no, I'm not at all interested in Haruko. She's crazy. I'm not interested. And he's like, hey, almost to like, on its face, to sort of like assuage her fears, but actually to almost to like tighten control, to make her just stop worrying and complaining. Tries to take her out on a date and kiss her, but now she denies him, and he's like, well, I thought that you were into me. What the fuck? But she realizes he isn't doing this because he's interested. He's doing this because of ego and sex brain, which we've all grown up. We've all been there. We've all been there where we're even in like these scenarios where we're like, no, we're being kind and nice right now. And it's like, no, you're not. You're being selfish and sex brained. You're being selfish, and your sex brain has convinced you that it's not, so that you can justify that to yourself. And that's a part of growing up, all right? And then sometimes people never successfully grow up out of that, and that's just how that goes. There's another big old robot emerges from his head that he has to fight with Haruko. They defeat the big robot, and it leaves a giant hand there. I think one of the most important conversations that does happen here towards about the central theme is when Mamimi is talking to Takun and is like, you're changing so much, trying to grow up so fast. Is it because of her, is Haruko, that you're doing this? Is she the one influencing you and more or less doing this to you? And once again, Takun is like, nah. Because, when you're a kid, you're like, no, I am completely my own individual. Outside influences are in no way shaping me. Because we're all dumbasses. Every single one. Episode 6, Haruko and the robot just fuck off. They just disappear. And Takun is like, oh, that fucking sucks. That doesn't feel good. We get some lore dumps and stuff. But then Haruka just returns, and Takun is once again like, what the fuck? You're just back now? You're just, where'd you go? Why'd you abandon me? To which Haruko doesn't give him an answer or anything, just sort of like teases him further. And then he breaks down. And he breaks down and just holds Haruko. And Haruko has a moment of one of the closer moments to sincerity that Haruko can ever get, which is just not being sarcastic. Yes. She's not like actively comforting. She just isn't a bitch in this moment.
Hey, sometimes that's all it takes.
But I need to assure you that is pretty substantial for her character. Her just shutting the fuck up for a moment is very meaningful.
What she does immediately after that, though, that
yes
is more in line with what we're used
to. Mamimi, meanwhile, has been feeding a robot dog that, as it turns out, is the missing part of the giant hand and the secret ingredient to everything, until it becomes huge. And, of course, as this happens, Haruko is excited. She's like, fuck yeah, that's the last missing ingredient before I can get my cosmic pirate king boyfriend. And so she takes Takun. She also like went and fucked off with Takun for a while. But they go and they're like, all right, gonna save the day. Eyebrows. It's like, Takun can't see that she's manipulating you. She don't give a damn. She's doing this for her Pirate King cosmic boyfriend. She don't care about you, bro. But Takun is like, nah, I'm gonna do it anyway. Because he's crushing hard on Haruko. So, he gets eaten by the core, merges with the hand. The hand grabs the iron, which will smooth all the wrinkles of all the brains and make a grand unity. Once again, there's a lot going on here. But before it can do so, Kanti shows up, pushes back, and then Takun, possessed by the spirit of the Pirate King, sort of becoming the Pirate King, sort of like fights shit off, and then is ready to fight Hikaru off, who's like, no, this can't be happening. This needs to go through. We need this all to work. You're interrupting shit. Takun, as the Pirate King, is able to stop the plan, but before taking vengeance and just wiping out Hikaru, just completely, just murking her, stops, transforms back into his normal self, and just tells her that he loves her in a very sincere moment. And she was ready for death in that moment. She was not ready for a declaration of love, because Haruko is an extremely fascinating character. She is great at recognizing the bullshit around her. How people are selfish, they're lying to themselves and others, they're putting on masks whether they're aware of it or not, and that allows her to be exceptional at manipulating, at sort of playing the game, because from her perspective, we're all playing the game, but only she's aware of it, right? We all pretend, oh, we're not wearing a mask, this isn't bullshit, when it is so filled with bullshit, right? It's our quote-unquote selfless intentions are often selfish. When we're just being honest, we often have ulterior motives with our quote-unquote honesty. And sometimes we're aware of it, sometimes we are not. Haruko's extremely aware of all of this. However, Haruko's perspective is sort of that it's masks all the way down. There's never a real self. There's never true sincerity. And so, when faced with actual sincerity, doesn't know what the fuck to do with that, right? In a way, Haruko, despite being this sort of pinnacle of maturity in Takun's mind, right? And certainly one level of maturity is recognizing all the bullshit around you, recognizing the masks that you and others wear, recognizing the implicit selfishness that you or others have. That's certainly an ingredient to maturing. However, a very important missing ingredient is emotional sincerity and intimacy and vulnerability. And Haruko has 0% of that. In fact, thinks that such things almost don't exist in any way. And so in this moment where Takun, person who she's been teasing and manipulating very carelessly, very selfishly this whole time, and knowingly so, expresses sincerity, she has no idea what the fuck to do about that. Then her cosmic boyfriend is summoned as a giant phoenix, but instead of being like, hey, glad to see you, babe, love it, he just flies into the sky and sort of like dissolves into the ether. He fucks up. He's not interested. This sort of like almost like platonic ideal of, I don't know, maturity maybe. She thinks she's ready for that because she sees everybody else as lying and immature, but she's also not ready for that. Nowhere even fucking close. The only person who was close to that is the very immature Takun, because he had that moment where he was willing to be vulnerable, willing to be so sincere. The way you cut through the bullshit isn't by being the best bullshitter. It's not by simply recognizing the game and playing it the best. Rather, it's dismantling the bullshit. And that's what we see in that scene. She decides, in a fascinating moment that can either be read as very selfish or very selfless, she's like, well, I gotta go chase after him and figure shit out. She considers bringing Takun along before being like, nah, you're just a kid, and fucks off into the skies, right? And this could be a very selfish moment where, once again, her plans were disrupted. As it turns out, she wasn't able to use Takun like she thought she would be able to. She needs to find somebody else to go and manipulate, right? It could also be selfless. Finally, she's like, you know what? It was fucked of me to do all of this. I shouldn't do this anymore. Both interpretations, equally reasonable in my estimation. Mamimi says so long and moves the fuck away. And Takun, still very much a kid, but having experienced quite a bit to further mature himself. And that is fully coolly. It's asterisk.
Yeah. So, nice simple show, huh?
Yeah, nice and simple, super easy breezy.
It's only 6 episodes, Rem. Can't be that bad.
This show, now we can actually touch on my overall thoughts on it. I think it is an incredibly well done show. It's one of the very, very few anime to, one, handle something like sexuality in a mature way, mature and thoughtful way, and 2, to actually have novel things to say about it. Once again, the sort of super theme is coming of age, but it explores that every single character has something else to say about that, and every single character in their interactions with other characters and other themes will then add further dimensions to it. Like, there's so much dissection that can be had here, which is truly, like, one watch is almost definitionally insufficient to unravel the Gordian knot of everything of this show, but it can still give you a really good idea. Very Lynchian in so many ways, which for many will be a turnoff, right? If you want a straightforward story, fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here. Most of the time, you will be disoriented and confused, which is perfect because that's how you should feel in coming of age. You don't really know what's going on, and you're able to latch on to a handful of vibes as you go, but it's only through hindsight that you can create any coherent narrative. That's the experience of growing up, and that's the experience of watching this goddamn show.
Yeah, there's a reason I watched it over and over as a kid and kept rewatching it, trying to figure out what the fuck was going on.
Oh yeah, well, and it's that sort of like process of piecing together, trying to make sense of it, like that is adolescence in large part. It's doing something very meaningful with being a Lynchian, at times confusing or overwhelming clusterfuck. A neater narrative simply would not have sufficed to tell the story and explore the themes the way it wanted to.
And to think, the studio that created this no longer exists.
That's wild. That is.
Mm-hmm. Now, it's not entirely true, because it was made by Gainax and Production IG, and all of the people from Studio Gainax eventually went on to separate studios, separate groups, separate companies. So, scattered throughout a lot of anime from like the mid-2010s to even today, you can still see a lot of their footprint. There are a lot of stylistic decisions and choices that harken back to shows from Studio Gainax. Fooly Cooly has a lot of impact on things as well, even though its direct references in modern anime is not as apparent as, say, a Evangelion or a Gurren Lagann. It's just wild to think about how much impact Gainax had as a whole. And Fooly Cooly is one of their best products, right next to Evangelion. It's kind of wild to think about.
Yeah, I feel like, oh man, the Fooly Cooly feels like, and I hope it's not the case, but when anything is Lynchian, right?
Mm-hmm.
Look, it's called Lynchian because good old David Lynch, whose stuff was astonishingly successful considering how strange and weird it was. But there's plenty, if anything, the majority of works that are quote-unquote Lynchian do not get the credit or acclaim that they could otherwise, because frankly, you gotta put in the work. and that it's not just like, oh, anybody who doesn't like it was too lazy or anything. There's plenty of people who aren't interested in putting in the work or viewed it as like it wouldn't be valuable enough to do so. Or tried to put in the work and it wasn't as fulfilling an experience. But anytime a show asks that of you, asks that of its audience to reach the full potential, it's setting up a barrier, right? And the barrier can be worthwhile, the barrier can be great, but that barrier is going to stop at least a certain amount of people from being able to really fuck with it.
But with that being said, we kind of have an idea of what you think of this show, Rem. Overall, you seem to be giving it a very positive review.
Yes, yeah, I think that this is an extremely impressive show. One of the most unique that we've seen. I think when it comes to sort of thematic depth, it might be like a top 3 contender for thematic depth that we've covered on the podcast. Because we have really just scratched the surface in the conversation here.
And we've been talking for just shy of an hour. So, there's a lot. There's a lot. But, I figured that would be a good way to kind of wrap up Gainax's story. And we'll cover other Gainax stuff in the future as well. We have a couple revisits we need to do on top of it. But this was probably the best way to showcase like the absolute heights of weirdness and belovedness that Gainax could create as a studio. Granted, it's really more about the individuals who actually worked on it, but there are so many to list, and I would be doing a massive disservice if I left anybody off of it. So just keeping it broad strokes with Gainax as a whole. But yes, we know what you think, Rem. What do you think the weebs think?
Okay, all right.
It may be tricky. It may be a little trickier than some others.
Okay, there's gonna be people who just bounce off it. There's gonna be people who are like, what the fuck was this?
Oh yeah, as a kid, I bounced off it so many times, but it was, that thing where, in some, blow-up amusement parks, there's, a bungee cord attached to a thing, and it's the fun thing you do is you strap yourself to the bungee cord, run as far as you can, and then get flung back. Kind of like that. That's kind of how I interacted with the show when I was younger.
Yeah, and fortunately, I do feel like there's some shows that, even if you don't get it, they're fucking slog in that case, but some... And I think this is in that category. If you don't get it, it can still be, some value can be obtained. It can at least be watchable. For example, the action is pretty good. The sort of animations are bombastic and silly and over the top, right? I think that the vibes and the score can carry you at least. If you watch the show, I think you'll get the right vibes regardless, even if you can't fully parse out any of the details.
Yeah. And plus, there's a scene with a vagina boxing glove. Who doesn't love that?
That's true. That is there. I'm torn on this one. I don't think. Do I? All right. Let's start from the bottom and work our way up. Right. The 7 barrier breaks it easy.
Right.
I don't think that the weebs actively dislike this show. Even the ones who bounced off it, I think there's going to be a lot who are like, "Wow, something different." Right. 7.
I mean, especially for the year 2000.
Yes, 7.5. With it being in 2000, actually. Oh, okay. All right. Here's my thinking. I'm having to parse this out a lot. It'd be so much easier if I just had a ready answer. I'm sorry, I do not.
Hey, that's all good, lad.
With it being,
we know you do things on the fly.
Being from 2000, that means that it's had time for people to discuss, analyze, rewatch, etc., which I think is very much in its favor. Ooh, that could put it above the 8 barrier, which I was gonna be skeptical of. But does it?
Because you like it automatically makes you skeptical of the 8 barrier.
Yes, genuinely yes. But I'm like,
I love that.
Because it's older, having that time to dissect, this feels like one that a certain amount of appreciation would be there from the beginning, but I feel like appreciation grows as time goes on, asterisk, from the people who remember and watch it. Just because you're able to have those conversations, able to have those rewatches, making it a more accessible and familiar and valuable experience. I think, all right, 8.2. Do I dare to consider like an 8.2? No, I don't. Simply do not.
Don't be crazy, Rem. An 8.2 for a beloved show?
Yeah, but 8.2 is really high, and this show is really weird.
Oh god, that is fair. That is fair.
I feel uncomfortable talking about like higher than an 8, but 7.9. I feel better about a 7.9 than I do an 8.2.
Would you like me to tell you a show we covered that had an 8.2 to see if it compares? Yeah. Give me 1 second. On the list of things that are in the 8.2 range, one of the ones that we covered was well, that certainly doesn't count. Naruto Shippuden. We haven't gotten to Shippuden yet, so that definitely doesn't count. Let's see. Hilariously, My Neighbor Totoro is at 8.25.
Okay, this is great. It's not Totoro.
Mm-hmm.
It's neither quite up to Totoro's standard, nor is it as nearly as accessible as Totoro. So we got to bring it down a couple more notches. Do I dare to believe, Shaun? Do I dare to believe a little bit?
Hey man, this is your call.
I dare to dream 8.1 flat.
8.1 flat. Is that your final answer?
Yes. I'm worried I'm high. I could be low.
No, you don't. You don't consume weed. You're good.
Oh. All right. Okay. All right. Tear off the bandage. What is it?
All right.
If this is a below a like 7.6, that's disappointing. If it's below like a 7.2, oh Jesus, mother of God.
Well, Rem, 461,000 people have reviewed Fully Coolly.
Okay.
Pretty fucking high.
Yeah.
Like I said, was constantly on Toonami Repeat back in the day, and Adult Swim whenever Toonami wasn't around. With that many people, it's sitting nice and pretty at 8.04.
Oh, okay. I did shoot a little bit high. I dared to dream a little bit too far, but I was still pretty close.
But the stat breakdown should explain a lot, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, 300,000 of those ratings are 8+.
Like, and like the show, it is just so well handled. It's so rare that very often we'll cover anime that has like some kinds of themes to it. Very often, sometimes we will cover anime with themes to it. But it's rare that those themes have anything like meaningful or novel to actually say. Which that can be okay. There's plenty of media I enjoy, even though it's not saying anything particularly interesting or new to me. But I think Fooly Cooly, it does. It's got layered, fascinating messages and ideas and concepts there. And I admire it for that.
Yeah.
As well as just being watchable and crazy.
Yeah. And who knows, maybe as we consume more anime in the future, you'll actually start to notice some Fooly Cooly-isms popping up from time to time. They're not super common, but when they do show up, which it's usually in like a comedy or a weird avant-garde show, they do stand out. Like if you are familiar enough with Fooly Cooly.
So I want to emphasize that straight up, the action in this was better than a lot of shonen we watch. Visually, the animation, the actual like choreography of shit. But it was like there were a couple of moments I was like, damn.
Yeah, like I said, man, there were some powerhouses working at Gainax.
Yeah, it was kind of, and it was like, weird because it was like it was why was it going so hard?
Because that's kind of all Gainax knows how to do. Because if they don't go hard, you get weird shit that doesn't make sense, like the fucking horny hamster anime.
I forgot. That's still, that's insane. That's wild.
Yeah. Yeah, man, look. This is the same studio that did Evangelion, Gurren Lagann, Fooly Cooly, and of course, fucking Ebichu-chan. You know? Just to nicely round it out.
Do you think the hamster was a psychosexual mech all along?
Knowing Gainax, it's possible.
They just unfortunately never got to the reveal.
Yeah, but the biggest difference is Fooly Cooly is a completely an anime original, whereas Ebichu was a manga adaptation. Believe it or not. As is the case for Gurren Lagann and Evangelion. Those are all anime originals from this studio. And there's a reason those three shows are as popular as they are still to this day.
Yep.
But hey, that's just where we stand. So I guess, God, the final question that I think I already know the answer to based on this, is there any chance you'd like to give Fooly Cooly another watch sometime?
Yeah, which is crazy, because, like, look, I'm not huge into rewatching, but I'd heavily consider rewatching fucking Fooly Cooly. I also know, this is totally tangential to everything. I watched half of the first episode in subs because I forgot that you said that the dub was well respected and good. So I watched half it, and you'll be unsurprised to hear that it was during the manga scene where I was like, all right, no, we simply must go to dubs. We simply must, because they were talking a mile a minute, and my brain melted. It left my body.
Yeah, like, I mainly said that the dub was a good option as well, because that's how most Western audiences consumed it, right?
It was also a good dub.
Yeah. The subs are also incredibly hard to get a hold of these days.
The line deliveries were all authentic yet bombastic and in a weird, uncanny way that, once again, the line deliveries were often straight out of Twin Peaks. Like, it was just... Mm-hmm. Where they'll just be, like, nonchalant saying the most batshit stuff you've ever heard.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, no. Because it was right in that threshold where anime dubbing was still like a growing audience, but because this was such a weird niche thing, and they didn't have to be as constrained by a lot of, and this is a lot of assumption on my part, but they didn't have to be constrained with a lot of standard lip flaps to match things. They were just kind of able to go fucking buck wild whenever the animation didn't focus on like mouth movements and such.
Yeah.
And and that obviously works really well for the show. Yeah, and I'm trying to think if you would recognize any of like the English VAs off the top of my head.
Probably not.
Probably not. No, because you're bad with VAs in general. Yeah, nah, I don't. Yep, nope. Because I don't think you know who Carrie Walgren is.
No fucking clue.
Not a clue. Yeah, that's fair. Still active today, actually. As a VA, she was the voice, the person who voiced Haruko.
Look, man, if it's like Sungwon Cho or a member of Critical Role, then I'll...
I mean, in fairness, they are in most everything.
Yeah, then maybe I'll have a chance of recognizing them. Otherwise, I don't know any fucking voice actors, brother.
That's okay.
The only voice actors I know are ones I know of from other shit. who then are like, hey, I'm a voice actor.
Yeah, that tracks.
If I don't see them in other shit explaining how they're a voice actor, I don't know shit about shit.
Yeah, no. Like, every time I watch an older anime, I was like, hold on, that's Laura Bailey. If I'm watching the dub, I'm like, oh, because I can spot her a mile away. But yeah, either way, yeah, that's Fully Cooley. And with that,
Shaun, I've always thought of you as the manifestation of Fully Cooley.
You know,
that boy is manifesting Fully Cooley nonstop. I tell you what, he was manifesting Fully Cooley in the theater last month watching Zootopia 2.
Okay, alright, okay. Ending the fucking podcast now. Thank you all so much for tuning in. We really appreciate it. If you enjoy...
Oh, wait, I also, just one... I said we would talk about it and we didn't, but I'm going to give just the slightest addendum. Fully Cooley, it's sort of the awkward transition from child to adult, a little bit of both. It's the awkward, horny sexual tension. It's just everything. It's awkward adolescence of feeling like you've got shit figured out while simultaneously feeling like you don't know a goddamn thing. All of that is Fully Cooley.
Correct.
But especially the horny
stuff. That is the Fully Cooley. Yes, especially the horny stuff. Gainax's other fatal flaw. Anyways, thank you all so much for tuning in. We really appreciate it. If you enjoyed Remington being blown away by a weird show from the 2000s, then please head on over to wherever you get your podcasts and leave us a review. They mean the world to us, and we do read every single one. And if that is still not enough for you, you can head on over to twitch.tv/anime-out-of-context, where myself, Dylan, and Remington do occasionally play video games very poorly. By this time, I should be back to streaming Final Fantasy every Thursday. It's been a lot. But if I'm not there, the next time I am, you can yell at me. Mark my words. And if you yell
at him mean enough, he might go Fully Cooley on you.
Okay, listen to it. That's not Twitch legal. It's not Twitch appropriate.
Look, the lasting legacy of this show, on this podcast at least, will simply be me occasionally dropping a Fully Cooley, usually directed at you.
Yeah, I should have anticipated that, but for some reason I didn't. Either way, if that is still not enough for you, patreon.com/anime-out-of-context will gain access to all kinds of lovely bonus material, including the opportunity to be thanked live on the podcast. Who we thanking this week, Rem?
Well, as always, we'd like to send our regards to all of our bland bitch protagonists, as well as our magical girls, who we really appreciate. But moving on, we get to our yandere waifus, who are taking their guitars, revving them up, as you do any guitar, and clobbering us upside the head. And on that list, we have My Knee Grows,
Jesus Christ,
Mauricio Ruiz, Tech Turtle, The Wheel is Rolling Towards a Mirai Nikki revisit, Simplicity, Yeti Ramsey, Hot Wheels World Race is the best isekai, Unseasonably Cummy in Goontown for this time of year. Hey, Shaun. Hashtag extra
Christ
win.
almighty.
It's the use of unseasonably. It just implies a whole ecosystem. It implies a whole weather pattern. And I
fucking ecologist study it.
The ecology of gummy. Oh, that one got me good.
Christ.
That one got me good. The wheel is smoking. The Snow Bros have a new saltine side piece, Dylan. Isaac Rem on Code Geese like one would a rabid dog. Wheel Remington talk about the time God makes Hosea marry a hoe. Gandalf wants to make Shaun's Hobbit to Isengard, wink wink. Shaun was right, Rem does need a Bakugan revisit. Welcome to Sword Art Remington. Shaun blocked my cock. Hope you didn't forget about your vampire past. Sayalis is a wheelie sleepy princess. Princess Sayalis died. Titaro also wants to hear Rem destroy Code Geese, or SAO, or AOT. Multiple people are now asking me to attack Code Geese. Ryan Moody, Goontopia 3, week 35, using my Patreon name to request Code Geese. Sparsy, that time I reincarnated as a podcast host and forced to weave. What does Goon got to do with it? Shaun, would you rather have a horizontal ass crack or a vertical mouth?
Christ.
What's your answer, Shaun?
No comment. Mostly because I already forgot the question. Like, it went one ear, out the other, and I am choosing not to.
Well, he already has the former, so, which I can say, because he doesn't remember what it was. Swaraj Verdi, Jake Den. Patreon names, they're just hitting today. Wolfire56, The Nerd 98, Lucky Stars the King Boa. You can spin the wheel all you want, but the house always wins. Fucking God, I really want Shaun to grow breasts. Hashtag Trevor Project. I can't believe I've made an account for this. West Kane celebrating New Year's with a manhunt. Bento Kato requests necromancy for I think you need to censor all of those names, Dylan. Replaying the entire Anime Out of Context playlist for a third time, it really helps me sleep. Judy wheel thump Shaun's meat with her bunny feet. Remington is right.
Christ.
Zootopia 2 is #1 on Shawnee Boys Pornhub searches.
Oh my god.
It's time to spin the wheel of Shaun's identity. Wheel, Seraphim the Shark Plushie, Aisha Gachi, Blarf, Macaroni Chiza, Daniel Riot, the Danish Viking will conquer the world with Renurzo as my navigator. Shaun ruined my happy sugar life when I might have gone a bit too far on the last name, but Shaun is still a degenerate. Super Zoo, Erica McCorkle, I really hope I wasn't late, I'm so sorry. Link Joe Girl, Shaun wants to give Spoonman a thank and yank. Rem uses the drums of liberation to free all weeps from bad anime. I want a Marvel movie starring Shaun as Spider-Man and Remington as Big Wheel. My Digimon is Mpreg Red-Pilled Rollins. Daddy Rem told me a bedtime story about Shaun's nut. Turban, the capybara loves wheels and Gojo's eyes. Make Shaun watch every Adam Sandler movie next year for April Fools. Stacy.
I'll die. I've already watched so many.
Stacy's mom, Amazing Muffin, watching Requiem for a Spoonman at 0.5 speed. The wheel in the sky keeps on gooning. King Rich Rock. Pro tips out of context, it's run out of things to post will come back soon. Rhiannon Williams, Titan CNH, The Susanator, Rock Hard for Dudes, why is there radioactive material kink play? Yandere Neko, anime, the world is full of people who want to get even. Luckily, Misaka mostly knows people who want to get odd. Fern the Fern, G bottom AK Bear Chap, you got a friend in me, you got a friend in me. He's about 8 in deep. Please get your friend out of me.
Christ. 8 inches, I think is what that was supposed to be.
Woo-wee!
My god.
I once heard and I had to dispel this poor girl of this illusion. This girl who was of the opinion that 8 inches was the average. And
oh my Christ. Oh my god.
I had to be like, oh honey, you poor brained soul. You're going to be wildly disappointed by the vast majority of your partners. Just statistically speaking, if you go in with that belief. Dark with Light. Rem doesn't completely hate my favorite shows. No waifu, no laifu. I really want Shaun to make Rem watch all of One Piece season 1. Are there multiple seasons? Isn't it just all one?
So yeah, fun fact. It's taken years, but they finally have done it. Toei has decided to actually make One Piece a seasonal show. It's only taken 25 years.
I don't really know.
So what he's saying is, just about 1,140 episodes is season 1, is what they're saying.
Is One Piece ever gonna end?
Yes. As an up-to-date manga reader, oh yeah, we are rapidly approaching.
Predict the episode the number that'll be the last episode right now.
Episode is hard because it's adaptation.
Hey, shut the fuck up. Give me an episode number right now that you predict will be the last episode number.
Okay. All right. Episode. Let me just double check what the most recent episode of One Piece was. Just to make sure that I'm not horrifically off base, because I'm behind on the anime but caught up on the manga. Because reading a chapter of manga is much faster than watching an anime. And it's already stuff I've consumed. Let's see. Most recent episode of One Piece was 11:55. I predict. God, if Toei keeps going at the pace they're going, let's go. I'm gonna overshoot it just in case Toei really fucks up. Let's go 17:50.
Jesus Christ! All right. Log that prediction.
That's me massively overshooting it because I don't trust Toei.
Log that prediction, ladies and gentlemen. We'll see how accurate he is. Humst, Cheese Monkey, Jax, Fenrir Foxwolf, Professor Fox, Jam Hands, Shaun's #1 greedy little piglet, Buckshin. We'd be sorry to Shaun's sister for Shaun wanting to horses. That's the best use of forcing a censor. That is.
Oh my god.
Very clever. Very well done.
No.
Look, we're not saying you want to fuck horses. See, we can say fuck horses. That doesn't get censored. So imagine what we had to censor. Really hope not too late. Ross Palmer, the struggle bus is forever. Cassidy. And now we move on to the Boy Wizard tier. What are they going to get this week, Shaun?
I don't know, Ran. I've been thinking for the past 10 minutes about what the fuck to get them, and I do not know. I could give them a guitar. How's that sound? Or maybe a Vespa. You know what? Guitar or Vespa. That's it. You're getting either guitar or Vespa.
You will be sorted into 2 camps, guitar or Vespa. That will define who you are for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
On that list, we got Triangle Warlock.
Guitar.
Toaster Bath 2.71828, or you can just say Euler's number.
Let's go Vespa.
The Visionary, yes, that's a Bleach reference.
Guitar.
Melnick Suzuki.
Guitar.
Will is thrilled about what is coming up.
Vespa.
Dominai Trigun, it will red pill even rem.
Guitar.
Fire Emblem 3 Whores.
Vespa.
Sean, I really should stop being such a schmuck and propose to my Sakushi girlfriend.
Christ, Vespa.
Rem is neither fooly nor cooly. Hopefully I am after this.
It feels like a Vespa.
Umbrasite.
Guitar.
Time for Rem to suffer Groundhog Day with the endless 8 out of context, you slithy tove.
That feels like a guitar to me.
That Mouse Girl.
Ooh, Vespa.
Truckoon Operator number 42.
Vespa.
One Piece live action on episode 400.
Guitar.
Sam K's here to remind you that you just lost the game.
Guitar.
And you get a Volvo truck wheel as a Christmas present.
Actually, Vespa.
Roscoe.
Vespa.
Carver 271.
Vespa.
Chris Thorstad wants Rem Daddy to take the wheel.
Guitar.
Spoonman the Aristocrat is here for party quirks.
I'm tempted to take away both. But you can have a guitar.
Power Cell notices that Witty Willy whipped the whirling wheel while the whistling wind whipped wildly.
Vespa.
Monogatari is everything, you guys, and I would pay 100 per pin on the wheel to change a pin to Monogatari.
Vespa.
The Great Bubble of Despair misses you.
Guitar.
The Wheel of Ka keeps turning.
Guitar.
Beethoven 1201.
Guitar.
Wheel Tomes.
Vespa.
Sound Secondary.
Vespa.
Miguel DeLeon.
Vespa.
Allfather only just realized in the second that the 12 Days drops next week and he's heckin' excited.
Guitar.
And then we move on to the inappropriate Joey Wheeler tier, where Shaun, as Joey Wheeler, will tell you what robotic monstrosity emerges from your head as you go through puberty, and I will tell you what it's a metaphor for.
Genuinely, I thought it was the fake one. And I was about to just give them a guitar or Vespa. I was like, oh no, wait, it's actually real this time. Oh wow.
On that list, we have Follow Anime Out of Context on Blue Sky, Remington, Chase, Stuffield, how dare you take from us, you mother. Ubo. Just leave the entire name. Alright.
Okay,
What a terrible robotic monstrosity emerges from their skull?
They're gonna get a whole ass Evangelion.
And it is, look, it's a metaphor for overwhelming sexual frustration that you aren't even trying to resolve, frankly.
Weirdly accurate. Weirdly accurate.
Next up, we got BRB going to Japan, not for the reason you think.
The monstrosity for you is a giant mechanical, Welsh corgi.
And that's a metaphor for your adoration of the monarchy and how you believe that is the superior system of government.
Christ. Do you think the corgis were left in charge after the queen died?
I think that they have an equal chance of being competent in such a role. Look.
You're not wrong.
It's largely ceremonial anyway, so it's just like, why not? Why not give it to a corgi?
I prefer that.
As an
Irishman,
the only acceptable monarchy is the corgi monarchy. Next we got humanoid monsters are like a tasting party, but for fucking spin that wheel, bitch.
It's gonna be a giant mechanical. I'm thinking pigeon.
And that is it's a metaphor for you just being confused and generally hungry. And last but not least, we got Shaun's a collector. Yes, he is a hoarder, building his castle of dockies with cum as the mortar.
Christ almighty, people. You can have a giant, you know what, you reap what you sow, you can have a giant mechanical docky.
And that is a metaphor for Shaun's hopes and dreams. So Shaun's hopes and dreams emerge from your skull. Thank you all for tuning in. If you want to reach out for a comment, question, feedback, or recommendation, you can send an email over to animeoutofcontext@gmail.com.
Once again, guys, thank you all so much for tuning in. We love and appreciate you very, very much. And as always, don't fuck your sister.
Do 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 do.